Okay.
All right. Wear it out, make it do, or do without. 75%. 75% of all world's international population has littered before. I've littered before, and I believe maybe some of you have as well. When you're driving down the road and you're chewing a piece of gum, you just want to spit it out, so you roll down that window and you just spit the piece of gum out. Newsflash, that piece of gum isn't decomposable. We throw things, apple cores, banana peels, all those things can be thrown outside that window. But when we see people throw aluminum cans, wrappers, even bags of trash, that's not okay. And I hope you guys are aware of that. So as we move along in the presentation, I want you guys to think, how could you alter how you reuse and recycle your waste? How can you recycle that object before letting it hit the trash bin or landfill? So for my project, I picked up litter. I picked up litter in residential areas, and I later went on to the New Hampshire mountains and hiked and picked up litter there as well. It was very eye-opening to start in my own neighborhood. There was so much trash I wouldn't even believe. After collecting for 2 hours straight, there was 4 bags of trash collected. I'm starting to believe that my neighborhood is the unwanted alcohol container drop-off center, is what I've been saying. Because I had 4 bags of aluminum cans that were jumbo. But using those aluminum cans, later I recycled, washed them, so I could use them in my final product. As my summer really kicked off, every week there was a new hike, a new place, a new trail to find litter. So as I was hiking across New Hampshire, different trails, I found that there were different amounts of litter that I was picking up from day to day. Even though hiking with my friends was such a great summer and I loved spending time with them, I found out observing that the more heavily traveled the trail was, the more trash I was bound to find. Mount Major, for instance. Mount Major, heavily traveled. We've all hiked it as a class before. It was an okay hike. But the trash found on there is insane. There's huge trash bags, cans, wrappers, small wrappers that are a pain to pick up. But there's just so much when compared to Mount Jackson, a later hike I did. Less heavily traveled, I'd say more of an older generation hiking it. There was almost no trash. People respected that trail more, and there was less litter to be found or picked up. So now if we zoom in and focus specifically on that trash I'm picking up, all trash eventually will end up in a landfill or in the ocean. 10% of all of our trash will end up in the ocean specifically. That's 260 million tons of waste being dumped into our oceans every single year. So as I'm collecting litter and you guys are rolling your garbage bins down to the end of the road, 10% of what you're throwing out will make it into the ocean as well. The ocean is a very complex ecosystem, which we all know. But with our interactions with it, it has been depreciating for years and years. So as it depreciates, the worse it becomes. I believe there are 5 major aspects to why it's depreciating. 1, being man-caused. We are hurting the ocean by polluting it, throwing our trash in it, unwanted objects that aren't supposed to be in there, hurting animals, hurting coral reefs. Anything that can be found in that ocean that's not supposed to be there is from us. Now, making up 60% of what those garbage patches are made of is fishing nets. And that leads us into our second issue, which is overfishing. Commercial fisheries, commercial fishing, they're going out, they're collecting tons of fish over the rate of what they're supposed to be. Those fishing nets are somehow supposed to be altered so that it's also protecting the larger mammals, because you can't not find dolphins or sea turtles or sharks in a large school of fish. It's bound to happen, but they're also being picked up with those fishing nets. And with overfishing and not enough fish, they're not even able to maintain their own habitats, coral reefs. Now, the coral reefs thrive and live off of what the fish give off, their waste. That's how the coral reefs get nutrients to live and grow and continue to be bright and colorful. So, without the coral reefs, fish have no home. Without the fish, the coral reefs die as well. Now, on its own, poaching as well is another aspect of it. We don't scientifically know how It accumulates to ocean depreciation, but it's still something negative that's happening in our seas. Poaching is the illegal act of killing a mammal, or any animal. If found on land, in ocean, whales, sharks, all of these mammals are also being killed. But when we think about it, how are these mammals going to later affect their food chain, the ecosystem? How are these mammals contributing to the ecosystem, and how is killing them going to impact it negatively? And finally, climate change. Climate change is also another really broad topic, we all know, but it's no doubt in our minds that the ocean temperatures have been rising. And it's shown through data on how mammals travel, they're going farther south, farther north, their breeding has changed, and their way of living has changed as well. We see them coming closer to shore and not out in the open seas like we normally do. And all in all, natural disasters, the ocean, it houses billions of lives, billions of marine life, but natural disasters is one thing that happens. The ocean comes in and it puts debris on our land as it is taking more debris out to the ocean as well. They're destructive and they're powerful and they keep getting bigger and bigger as the years go on, and we all see that. So, to represent this and to represent everything leading to my final product, I want to create a piece of art. And throughout the whole entire summer, I've been collecting recycling from my house, from the streets, everything, cardboard, gum wrappers, anything I can get my hands on to make this piece of art. I use recycled Luan plywood as well as recycled chicken wire to construct the whole thing. I've actually been wanting to make a project like this for such a long time, and this was my excuse to make it, to hoard tons of recycling in bins in my basement without anyone complaining, because there was a lot. But there's three major aspects of my project. One being the sun. The sun is not doubtful that the sun has been getting stronger. It's getting brighter. The UV index is rising, temperatures are rising, ocean temperatures are rising, and so I want to represent that in bright, bold colors, red, pink, so we know and we can tell that it's getting more dangerous. The second part the second aspect to my project is the cardboard city. The cardboard city is supposed to represent us as America, us and our infrastructure that we love so much. We like it big, shiny, new. That's a huge thing. We love new objects. To represent that, I put tons of gum wrappers into the windows to make it shine like that because it's something that we value. But what we don't know, where are we getting all of that material? It's not being recycled. Do we even need that building? And some things we don't even realize is walking into that brand new Target that we love so much, you're coming out with things that you don't need. Plastic bags, you can be bringing your own bags. Items that, and I think we all do this when we're in Target, we bring home that we don't necessarily need, that will end up being thrown out eventually. And leading on to the final thing is the wave. And the wave represents our pollution we're causing on the ocean. And I wanted to come back crashing onto the ocean. Not saying anything bad will happen, but to represent that if we keep throwing our debris into the ocean, it will come back and bite us. At some point, something bad will happen. And so to tie the whole project together, I wanted to share with you that if we continue to litter and to take advantage of our ocean every day, one day, if we continue, we can't rewind the clocks. We can't reset what we've already done unless we start picking it up and resolving it now. Picking up what we've caused. That's why we need to start conserving now and taking care of our waste and finding ways to maximize, reuse, and recycle what we're using. And spoken by Henry David Thoreau, a very renowned conservationist and the written author of Civil Disobedience, he reads, live in each season as it passes. Breathe the air, drink the drink, taste the fruit, and resign yourself in the influence of the earth. So as I finish today, please take into consideration how you can reduce and reuse your own goods. Either if that's through wearing it out, making it do, or simply doing without.